Hi everyone, it's Kerchie. Welcome to my very first monthly recap. It's this new thing I'm going to start doing just to kind of update you guys on a month-to-month basis as to what's happening to me, what's coming up, and everything else in between. So it's February now. January has taken such a long time to finish, but I don't care because it's my birthday month. So I did turn 36, and the fact that I'm almost 40 is so surreal to me. And to be honest, I actually go around telling people that I'm 40 because if I'm already in that mindset, then when I actually turn 40, it won't be that bad. I've also made it one of my goals to be as hot as possible in my 40s. So that's what I'm working on right now. And I don't want to be afraid to age. And at this point, I'm not. I'm actually looking forward to it. I've never been healthier. I've never loved myself more. And I've never taken care of myself more because when I was younger, I was hyper focused on just my career. And it's normal. It's fine for a lot of people to do that. But what happens is we do neglect our health. So now I've just kind of taken a new direction. I am focusing on my health mentally, physically, spiritually. So you know what? I am entering this new year feeling really good and staying on track of the rest of my weight loss and all the other goals that I want to achieve this year. Okay, first things first, I want to show you guys the new Polly Pocket stuff that have arrived at my house. I have this little corner here where I put new stuff that arrives and it just keeps piling on and on and on. Yes, I do have the brand new keepsake heritage rings. I believe I got these at Target, but I have looked everywhere for them and I only found these at Target. There is a third one, which is the round compact. Cannot find that anywhere else right now, and I heard that it comes out during spring, maybe March. So far, these are what I have. I have the star and the heart. These are so cute. I'm actually kind of debating whether or not I want to keep them in the packaging because these have the little, what are these? The bubble packaging that you actually have to rip apart. And I do take my toys out of the packaging to showcase them. And I also really like playing with them. And I've said it before, I don't plan on selling my collection. So I don't really care if I've taken them out of the box, if I modify them, if I taint them in any way. My collection dies with me. But with the keepsake ones, I've always been able to put them back in the packaging because I do like how the packaging is a throwback to the vintage ones. But with these, I'm a little concerned that I might not be able to put them back in the packaging. And then I thought about buying duplicates. I've only bought one duplicate, which is for the Target Polly Pocket because I thought it was going to be super, super rare. And now it's everywhere. So I bought two out of panic, which I now regret doing because I also don't want to fall into that overconsumption part of myself where I have to have two of everything. It feels a little bit too much and I'm already kind of out of space. So I didn't get two of each, although now I'm thinking maybe I should so I can open one and keep one in the packaging. You know what? No, I'm just going to stick to my guns here. I'm going to just open them as carefully as I can when I showcase these. And I will wait for the circle one before I showcase these. So you won't be seeing these for a while. And in the modern Polly Pocket world, we have a brand new purse. So this one is part of the Mommy and Baby series, and this time it's a hedgehog. Look how adorable that is. I was going to showcase this last week, but I am actually going to be a lot more limited when it comes to my showcases for several reasons. I'm going to get to that later, but here she is. She's absolutely adorable and large. I have a lot of Mommy and Baby purses as well. They're all up here. And then I got this one. So this is a collaboration with Polly Pocket and Beauty Creations. And this is an entire makeup kit. And of course, this is inspired by the original Polly Pocket packaging. You can see the little heart patterns, the teal color, the heart shape. And this does open up into a giant compact. And here's all the makeup. We have eyeshadow, I believe we have lip gloss. There's some kind of spray. I'm actually not too wild about this makeup. I would say it's more in line with like children's makeup, but the packaging is really cute and I bought it because it's Polly Pocket and I'm trying to purchase every Polly Pocket collab out there, at least ones that aren't incredibly expensive. And the packaging got me. I do love the packaging with this, so that's that. I also got the wallet. So this is the wallet. Unfortunately, it is not quilted. The quilted design you see here is just printed on there, but it's still really cute and it's not incredibly expensive either. So I think it's worth it to add to my collection. And I got a couple pins because one thing about me, I will not pay for shipping. I will pay extra for more stuff to have free shipping, even if the stuff exceeds the total before. I hate paying for shipping. So I got these pins just to fill up my minimum purchase requirement for free shipping. I don't typically buy pins unless they're like super, super innovative and cute, like the ones from Little Shop of Pins. She's incredible and super, super talented. So I bought those. These are just really simple and they're expensive for how simple they are. I think over here on the back, it's $16 US. So $22 Canada. So it's expensive. For pins, why are pins so expensive, you guys? I mean, is enamel really that luxurious of material? I don't know. So that's the new stuff so far that has come in. I also have a couple things on pre-order right now. I'll talk about that during my next recap because it's better that I show you guys than just describe it with my mouth. But anyway, so the showcases. I am going to do less and less of them for several reasons. One being, I've been doing showcases for about 5 years now, and my intention for my channel has always been about me, my life, crafting, sitting in front of the camera like this, just talking, very vlog style stuff that I intended to do in the beginning. My issue was that, number one, I just didn't have the confidence to do it. And that was also the time I started collecting Polly Pockets. And when I held one of the vintage ones, it was the Jewel Magic Ball. That was the first vintage one that I bought for my collection. When I held it in my hands for the very first time, I just felt like a kid again. And just naturally, I went through it. I went through all the details and I thought, why don't I just do this with my entire collection? It's really fun and people can go down a nostalgic path. And then it just kind of ballooned out into modern Polly Pockets and even more out into other toys that just interest me. And before I knew it, I have completely strayed from the original path of my channel, which was to vlog and to put forth my personal work versus showing toys. So basically, I am like a free ad, so to speak. Like yes, I'm showing vintage toys, but also with the modern Polly Pockets, I feel like I am essentially a free ad. So the showcases that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be a lot more selective with it. Maybe I'm just going to do keepsakes or maybe just stick to vintage. The modern ones are super cute and they bring me a lot of joy, but I just feel like setting up my equipment, editing, and putting all that effort into showcasing essentially a brand new toy you can get anywhere that's not vintage or extraordinary in any way is kind of not worth the effort. Like, I know that sounds really negative, but my time is the most valuable thing to me right now, especially the older I get. And I have so many hobbies and so many things I'm interested in, including cooking, which is something I've recently picked up. And I'm actually really good at it. I'm super excited. I have honed in my skills since the last time I showed myself cooking on my channel. I have honed in my skills and really did my research, and I have made complex dishes for George and he loves them all. He actually does not want me to stop cooking. So on top of all of that, it's just my time is my most valuable resource right now. So when I do showcases, I want them to be the most special toys ever. On that note, I'm also going to slowly start to transition my channel from a mostly toy channel to mostly vlog and personal content to a little bit of toy content. So my reasoning for this is I am older and my interests have simply changed. I'm always going to love toys. I'm always going to collect them and I'm always going to talk about them. But again, setting up the equipment and the editing efforts and all of that stuff to showcase is going to be very, very limited. And my uploads might also be a little bit less frequent as I kind of get the gist of vlogging and kind of filming my personal life as I go about my day. So as much as possible, I'm going to try to upkeep the once a week upload, but maybe sometimes I'll skip a week. But for the most part, at minimum, I'm always going to do at least 2 videos a month, which is 1 video every other week. But my goal is to do 1 video a week consistently, mostly vlogging and personal content and a little bit of toy content. So I do want to thank you guys for sticking with me thus far and following me in my journey and watching me change, even physically. Like, I look so different than I did when I started my channel. I started my channel when I was almost 30. I was about to turn 30. So I was 29. I'm now 36. That is insane. That is a long time past. So thank you guys. If you're still here, I do recognize a handful of you guys who have been with me since day one. Those of you who comment on all my platforms, even TikTok. And thank you guys. You guys are appreciated. I see you. I see you. And to a lot of you, I know that you are just here for the toys. I do get a handful of people who constantly ask, when are you just going to do toys again? But I do want to be honest that my interests are changing and I only want to do things that I love. That is my new mantra these days. I don't want to force myself to do anything I don't want to do. I don't want to treat this like a job because the reason why I love doing this. So when I got laid off, I had a revelation. I only want to do things that I truly, truly love doing because if I start to treat this like a job and force myself to film a showcase when I don't want to, I might as well just go back to corporate. And speaking transparently, I don't make a lot of money doing YouTube. In fact, it's just like very, very small pocket change that goes right back into equipment and whatever else I need to film anyway. So I'm doing this 100% for fun because I really love it. I do enjoy it. But I will be honest that the toy content stuff is starting to kind of get away from me a little bit. But my interests are just simply changing. And I also need to look at this from a very smart point of view where I mentioned earlier that I have kind of become like a big giant ad for Mattel at this point, and it's not that they care. I don't want to feel like I make that big of an impact. But when I'm over here kind of creating these high quality videos for a toy company, it kind of feels like I'm working for them for free. So again, I only want to do that if I'm legitimately 100% so excited about a toy, mostly vintage that I want to show you guys. But with the new stuff, especially new Polly Pockets that have come out, I feel like I showcase them right away. And then it feels like, here's an ad for this, go buy it. So yeah, I just want to be very transparent with you guys that I always want to do things that interest me. I don't ever want to force myself to create content on here that, just kind of makes me feel like it's a chore. Like, oh, here comes, another video that I half want to do, half don't. So it's kind of getting to that point, and I don't want it to get all the way to that point where I'm just not enjoying it. And at that point, I'm just putting it out to be consistent because that's what they tell you, right? Be consistent. Put out the same content over and over again. Just be consistent. But at some point, you have to kind of tweak that a little bit. Like, well, I don't like this same stuff anymore. I want to change. Like, I'm 36. When I started this channel, I was 29. Like, interests change. So yeah, that is the new direction for my channel. I want to do more personal content like this. This is also a way for me to heal myself. I am a very shy person, and even talking to the camera like this, I'm looking at myself on the screen right now. I'm like, you're kind of silly for talking to yourself. Like, are you obsessed with yourself that you're talking to yourself? Like, and whatever. It's everybody does it. Everyone's a content creator now, and I really just want to make my channel about me again, not about Mattel, basically. Okay, now I'm going to talk about something very sad, but it has a happy ending. I mean, you guys have kind of been, those of you following me on Instagram already know, but we did have to put our dog Gizmo down a couple weeks ago, so it's still very fresh. And we estimate his age to be about, we want to say 17, right around there, maybe between 14 and 17, because he was a rescue. And when he was rescued, his teeth were really bad, so they couldn't really guess his age. And when he got his teeth cleaned, they estimated him to be about 3 or 4 years old, something like that. So it's still kind of wishy-washy how old he was when he passed away, but we do know that it was simply time. He has quickly deteriorated. You guys might have seen in my videos, he was a little bit shaky, kind of lost, kind of not really engaging with us and with our other two dogs. He also didn't appear too much in my videos because he just loves to hide and be alone and be isolated, which is another sign that, animals will typically isolate themselves when they're just not feeling well and when they know it's time. And our other two dogs, Glitter and Gadget, they already knew way before us that something was wrong with Gizmo because they have stopped associating with him. They've stopped playing with him. Sometimes Gizmo will sniff them and then they'll kind of like walk away. Where before, the three of them would really engage together and they would cuddle and play together. And his change was so fast. Like, it happened so fast because just 6 months ago, he was more or less a normal dog. He was running around, eating normally. And then within the last 6 months, he's been having a lot of accidents. He's been running into walls. He's been disoriented. His limbs, his joints were just not performing the way they used to. So at that point, we had spoken to the vet and just kind of asked him, like, what the next steps are. And when I tell you that vet visit for me, the first time when we got him checked up and kind of asked the next steps, I was in shambles. I was crying at the vet's office, and it took him like probably 10 minutes to hand me a tissue because my face was like an entire waterfall. And he was just, we love our vet. He's so nice, and he has been with us since Gadget was a puppy. And so he's really caring, but it did take him a while to hand me a tissue, and he even looked at me and he said, "Oh, sorry, let me get you some tissues." And he's just trying to explain the technicals, he wasn't saying, "Definitely put him down." He was just saying like, "Well, here's what you need to think about," and weighing out different options, and he even gave us medication to just relax him and things like that, which worked for a little bit, and then they stopped working. That visit kind of let me know that I wasn't ready, and I know that with pet owners, it's such a debate in your head, like, because animals can't talk. They can't tell us. They can't literally say, "Hey, I want to be put down." It is up to us. It's up to us to make that educated guess. And a lot of times we will kind of drag it out because it's hard. And he's the first dog that I've ever had to put down. And my voice is shaking talking about it right now. It's like still really fresh. But I wanted to get myself to a place where I was 100% secure, at least 99.9% secure that it was the right decision. Because one thing I did not want to do was prematurely put him down when he was still acting more or less himself. So when we finally made the decision, I was really using the metric of, are there more bad days than good? That's what they always say. Are there more bad days than good? Because one thing that was always messing with my head is he would have bad days, like a lot of bad days where he can barely move, he can barely find his food bowl and things like that. And we even had to pen him to contain him so that everything is there within reach. But then he'll snap out of it and act like himself. And then he'll come running to me wanting to cuddle. And then I'm like, there you are. And then he'll go back to having his bad days. I'm not about to cry right now. Okay, wow. I just had to take a couple minutes there because I actually did break out in tears. And whenever I'm filming, I'm usually like so headstrong that everything else disappears around me. Even if I'm having a really bad day that day, the moment I turn on the camera, I'm like, I snap out of it. But wow, that hit me. Okay. Maybe I'm not ready for this. Maybe I should just go back to showcases. Oh my God. Okay. Relax. So anyway, the decision to put him down, I just wanted to make sure that I was like 99.9% sure, and more bad days than good. So yeah, that's ultimately what it ended up being. And one thing I don't regret is seeing it all the way through. He did pass peacefully in my arms. I was holding him the moment the vet, did his thing. And it took maybe like 10 seconds. It was really quick, and there was hardly a transition. It was just like he was sleeping, as most people say. And part of me thought that I was going to chicken out, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to just see it through to the end, because if I'm going to call myself a pet parent, a dog mother, someone who has really preached adopt, don't shop, then I need to see this all the way through. And I did. So it's still kind of getting to me when I think about it, when I talk about it, like in detail like this, because he is the first dog that I've had to go through this with. But George and I went through it together, and it's actually really cute because George is this big muscular guy, and he probably cried more than me. I did take pictures of him in the backyard holding him crying, and I sent it to him, and he thought it was really cute because he had never seen himself so vulnerable before. So yeah, it was a really nice moment for us. Gizmo has been with us since the very beginning of our relationship. No, not relationship, I'll say marriage. Very beginning of our marriage. And Gizmo wasn't just a dog. He represented me and George's youth, basically, navigating life as young adults, figuring out our relationship, our marriage, right down to buying a house, our careers, where we wanted to be in the future. Gizmo was there for all of that. So losing Gizmo is kind of like also losing our youth. Like, it's very symbolic. It's like a new phase of life, but I don't see it so much as a loss as I see it as rebirth. So we are moving into the next phase of our lives. We are getting older. We have life mostly figured out. We're very happy. And looking back at our younger selves, we just kind of feel like, wow, the years really start coming and they don't stop coming. So here is Gizmo. It's really cute, actually. It's not creepy. It's not creepy. So here, it's really adorable. They did a good job creating this, and it's so tiny. He's only 3 pounds. So this is exactly how much it fit. It's 3 pounds, and they even said, if we can't fit him in there, could we just give him to you in a bag, like the rest of him in a bag? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll make jewelry out of him or something. But they were able to fit him in this little tiny heart, and then it has paw prints. Those aren't his paw prints. It's just a generic design, but it's quite heavy. And tell me why this smells like Mod Podge. Have you guys ever smelled Mod Podge? Because the smell of this, we have him on our mantle where I put my holiday decorations. And so that side of the house smells like this. It's a very strong smell. And George loves it. For some reason, he loves the smell. He's like, oh, it reminds me of him. And I'm like, I'll just give you an entire container of Mod Podge and you can sniff it, you glue sniffer, you know. But he loves it. I don't really. But the design is so cute. I do love the design. It's very I don't know, it's just like a cute little, it looks like a charm because he's so small. And then the vet also gave us his paw prints right here. So I think this is standard for any pet that has passed away, with the Rainbow Bridge poem right here. I didn't know this because I've never read the Rainbow Bridge poem before, but people go there too. It's basically just heaven. So I thought Rainbow Bridge was like a special place for dogs specifically, but no, people go there too. So one thing that's weird about this is I don't believe these are his paws, you guys. He was a very small dog. He was 3 pounds, you guys. Like he was barely a dog. He was probably like a giant rat. I love him. He's my giant rat. Okay. But these paws are, they're really big. Also, his paws are skinny, and I don't know the process of this. Maybe when they press it in, it like flattens it a bit. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, okay? But this one I don't feel is as symbolic of him as the cute little urn. So I do like the urn more than that. The upside is you get all of this love. It's very fulfilling, but the downside is saying goodbye. Ugh, like it's getting to me. Stop. Okay, we need to move on because this is getting really sad and I don't want to cry again. I already have my tissue here. So the other thing I want to touch on is my own fitness journey. So as I mentioned, I have lost almost 70 pounds. At one point in my life, I swear to God, I weighed 200 pounds. That was probably maybe 2020 when my channel was really starting to climb. I was showing my face on my channel. So I guess if you look at my older videos, you can really see the drastic change. And I think the heaviest I'd ever been was when I did my first Q&A. Was that 2020? But anyway, it was my very first Q&A. And surprisingly, I didn't get a whole lot of hate comments on my weight. So things like that, especially starting a channel, a YouTube channel, and being on social media and putting yourself out there, you do open yourself up for, rude comments. And I can maybe count like a handful, literally in my hand, of just, trolls that say something. But for the most part, nobody cared. Nobody really cared about my weight. Nobody cares now, really, that I've lost all this weight. And I think it's enlightening that people just care about the content and what you have to say. Like, and I also don't look like I'm not an outlier one way or the other, one way into the spectrum or the other. I'm just like right in the middle. If anything, I'm like average. So I've always had this notion in my head that like, oh, everybody can see that I'm fat, things like that with my content. But fact is, maybe they do, but for the most part, people don't care. They just care about what I have to say or the toys I'm showing. But also seeing it that way made me enable myself further to continue eating the way I did, which was really bad. And I don't know what got me to get on my health journey, like to be honest with you, because my family will ask me the same thing. When did you finally decide to lose all that weight? And I was like, I don't know, like in the middle of May at age 34 and a half, I think. And I have no idea. I really have no idea. I just know that I started, okay, let me show you this. I started the 75 hard challenge a year and a half ago. And my challenge, this is no joke, was to limit myself to just one bag of hot Cheetos a day. The 75 hard challenge, if you follow it to the T, it's like getting 10K steps or something like that, drinking a gallon of water, um, spending time outside and then spending time inside. It's very detailed. You can look it up online. But so George actually did that one. And my 75 hard was modified for me, where I just wanted to make like a little change in my life and not be too fit at the time because I hated exercising and anything in that realm. So, considering I was eating multiple bags of chips a day, I limited myself to just one. And George was laughing at me. He was like, "That's your 75 hard challenge." But I told him, I'm like, "Hey, this is me we're talking about. Okay, I have a disease. This is very hard for me." So I did that. And I did the full 75 days. And I built this habit of basically weaning myself off of the food that I was highly, highly addicted to. And that's what kickstarted my entire fitness journey, was basically building that habit. So I'm going to segue into something else after this, but I just want to show you guys my new 75 challenge. So come the new year this year, especially after Christmas when we ate a bunch of goodies and cookies and stuff like that, I told myself I was going to fully lock in because I'm only 12-ish pounds away from my goal weight. Now, when you think 12 pounds, you think that's not that much. Like that'll drop easy. But when I'm already this small and so close to my goal weight, the scale will not move. I don't know what's going on. And at this point, the calories I eat are already really low. Uh, but I'm not starving, like I'm very healthy and I make sure to eat enough so that I can lift because I legitimately love lifting weights now. I am obsessed with lifting weights. And if I eat any lower than that, my body actually cannot function because I've experimented with different variations of calories. Maybe eat this much this day and this much that day. And today we just had KBBQ. And when we have KBBQ, we do not count anything. We just like eat whatever. So for me though, I don't eat rice or anything. I just stick strictly to beef, things like that. So at this point, I'm eating so low that like if I eat any lower, if I want to speed up my weight loss, which is, the most you should ever lose is really 2 pounds a week. That's the healthy way to do it. If I speed it up to that level, I might as well just not eat anything at all. So that is why the scale has not stopped moving, but it has moved significantly slower because losing my first 60 pounds, it really just fell off. I was like, oh, I don't know why this is so hard for a lot of people. Like I even got cocky. I was like, oh, like it just fell off and I'm not starving or anything. And then when you get down to the last 20 pounds, maybe even last 30 pounds, and it stops, that's the plateau as they call it. You're just like, I'm already doing everything I can. So that's when the real work kicks in. So if you're there, if you resonate, and if you're at a plateau, I feel you on that. Don't give up. And if anything, maintain the weight, which is what I've done. I've maintained the same weight for like 6 months, maybe a little more. So one of the things that I worried about was that I would gain all of my weight back, just because I do love food and I have food noise. We've all talked about food noise, but I have kept the weight off and I'm still in a deficit. So I'm technically still losing weight, but very, very slowly. So right now I lose about half a pound to a pound a week, which is great. I'll take it. And then once in a while, I'll have a box of bridge mix and it's okay because I'll just get right back into my diet. And that's my way of justifying having bridge mix. I love bridge mix so much that do you guys see this? They gave George this at C's because George goes to C's to get me my cute little bridge mix box. And they gave him this. It's a dog toy. Okay, back to this. So come the new year, I started a new 75 hard challenge, which again, I've modified for myself to kind of get the scale moving again because I am at a plateau. And as you can see, I have crossed out some things because I've already kind of failed. Okay. So I'm going to talk about my entire weight loss journey at some point, and I'm going to be super, super real about it. I'm not going to fake anything. I'm not going to be like, oh, if you follow this to the T, you're going to be hot. No, I'm going to be super real with my experience, especially since I do suffer from binge eating disorder. That's the truth. That's something that I didn't even realize was a thing till maybe a year ago. I didn't even realize that that's what I had. But yes, so as a binge eater, I'm going to recount my entire experience in a separate video, and hopefully it'll help a lot of you like it did me. But I can promise you guys, I'm going to be 100% real. I'm not going to feed you guys lies like a lot of these other creators who Photoshop themselves and who get a bunch of surgeries to make themselves look hot so they can sell some workout plan. Like, I am legit gonna tell you guys the truth and reality of losing all that weight from someone who has lost almost 70 pounds. And I'm not even saying I'm hot or anything, but see, that's the reality, right? Just because I've lost 70 pounds doesn't mean I can be a Victoria's Secret model now. No, I just look like a normal person. And that's just what you do. You just look normal and then you live your life. Okay. So initially I had here clean eating, which means don't stray from the diet, just eat the proteins. And then the other thing I crossed out was no snacking. Snacking will get you, yes. When I do snack, it is the little protein cereal that we have, just laying around, and I'll pass by it and I'll grab some, and I'll pass by it and I'll grab some again. Um, that has not contributed to the stagnation of my weight because the scale is moving again. I have just recently broken my weight plateau. So I crossed that out. And the only thing I left up here is no DoorDash. So door dashing for me, I do it every Sunday and Wednesday. And I get pho because I love pho. I love Asian food. I love noodles. And Sunday and Wednesday are also my cooking days. So after I meal prep for George, I just want to relax with a big bowl of pho and summer rolls, which are barely any calories. I think it's like 100 calories or whatever. And that was like my thing. But then I noticed that the scale wasn't moving for a while. And then I realized that that was probably contributing to it because even though I had been counting the calories and putting it into the app, something that I cannot confidently count on is the amount of oil the restaurant is putting in the food. Even going over just a little bit of the recommended amount on the bottle or whatever can add 200 to 300 extra calories, which is why they say if you're serious about your diet, don't eat out, just cook your own food. Because if you eat out, even if the calories, they fit, maybe like Taco Bell will say, oh, our taco is only 100 calories. You're like, oh, that's 100 calories. Someone preparing that food can just put a little bit of extra sauce, a little bit of extra oil. It's always the liquids that get you. A little bit of extra guac. That's it right there. That's 300 calories right there. So keep that in mind. That's just a mini tip that I'm going to give you guys because that's getting me right now. I'm like, oh, I've reached that point where I cannot have any wiggle room for a little bit of oil that they may or may not be putting in the food. So unless I am seeing them prepare it with my eyes, I can't be confident that the calories is accurate. And then I give myself a little sticker whenever I finish. So I'm going to finish March 22. And by March 22, I am hoping to have lost the last 12 pounds. So hopefully during March or as I film in the coming weeks, you will see me change a little bit more. I don't know how noticeable it's going to be at this point. Maybe just like at this point, it's just spot reducing. Like when you get to a certain point with your weight loss journey, maybe like you have problem areas. That's kind of where it's going to take from. So for the most part, I'm probably going to look the same. Just little areas are probably going to disappear. I don't know. But all I know is I am excited. I don't see this as a chore. I don't feel tired. I don't feel like, oh, I hate my life. Why do I have to do this? Why can't I just eat whatever I want? I think that's the biggest change with me is that this is my life. This is my lifestyle. And it's true. It has to be a lifestyle if you want to be healthy. Like you just can't be healthy for a season. You can't be healthy to fit into clothes and then what? You fit into the clothes and then what? You're going to stop. So yeah, my takeaway is that although I'm losing the weight very, very slowly, I have been on this health journey for a year and a half. So a year and a half, if you had told me a year and a half ago that I was going to give up my favorite foods and not even reach my goal weight, I wouldn't have even gone on this journey. I would have said, what's the point? But having gone on this journey now, a year and a half later, I'm still not at my goal weight. I feel amazing. I feel more confident. I can fit in all of the clothes that I want to buy. My blood work is phenomenal. My doctor was even like, good job, because she has seen me in all my weights, all the ups and downs. Now it just comes down to the wire, like just the last bit to really fine-tune myself. So the segue is I'm going to be starting a third small business, and I'm going to be making little things like this, which is habit changing guides. And I don't want to say too much because a lot of it's still ruminating in my head, but they are going to be digital products that you can just download right on your phone, right on your computer. You can print them out, kind of like planners, but they're not planners exactly. They're more habit changing things to kind of keep you on track, but also in a fun way, not in a way that feels like a chore, like you don't want to do it. So that's kind of the brand that I'm hoping to embody with this new venture of mine. And there's a lot more to it. I'll speak more on it when I actually do it, but I'm very excited for it. So, and what's funny is I actually had this idea many years ago, and I actually have my business name saved and everything. And now I think it's time to revisit it, which also falls in line with, my new path of not working corporate anymore. And now I have a lot more time to pursue multiple avenues. So I've been talking so much, it's like nighttime. What time is it right now? It's 5 p.m. All right, so that was January. That is my long-term plan for the year that I have outlined. Welcome to February. Hopefully, things are good this month. I feel like every month I'm like on the edge of my seat, like, what's going to happen this month? What's going to happen with the world? I hope you guys are having a wonderful new year so far. And if not, it is never, ever too late to change yourself and to reinvent yourself. It doesn't matter how old you are. I guarantee you're younger than me. I guarantee you. And if you are older than me, I'm looking forward to growing old together. Like, I'm looking forward to getting to be your age. Like, you know, growing old is a privilege. And one of the things that has made me secure in putting Gizmo down is knowing that he grew old. He grew old and lived his life. So growing old is a privilege. I'm looking forward to it as long as I stay hot, look hot, be healthy. And of course, thank you guys for understanding my new posting schedule and my new shift from toy content to vlogging, personal content, and in giving me time to pursue my small businesses and my business ventures. So I know you guys come here for the toy content, but if you stick around for the personal vlog stuff, I highly appreciate you. Thank you so much. And if not, that's okay. If you only come here for toys and if you're bored and want to get out of here, totally understand. There are amazing Polly Pocket toy channels out there that pop up on my front page. So check them out. They're really fun. Otherwise, I will see you on the next one.